Hello and welcome to EBADay 2019 in Stockholm. I'm Hannah Wallace, and kindly joining me now in the TV studio is Petri Syvänne of Tieto. Hello Petri, it's good to see you again. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Hannah. Good to see you.
So since we last spoke, could you tell me what's happened in the payments and transaction space?
I think that the trends are still there that we discussed the last time. So the number of account-to-account transactions is going up. There are many reasons for this, but mainly now we see that some of the transactions are finally moving from card transaction to account transactions, and then we have like microtransactions and IoT payments lurking behind the corner. Well, secondly, obviously, the payments are coming more real time. We have the pan-European real-time payment finally in production in Europe, and a lot of banks are already members of that. And then thirdly, I would say that the business cycles in all industries are coming faster, and this is also reflected to the payment industry, which means that the banks and the payment providers and the payment products as such, they need to be more commoditized and faster sort of to adapt to the changing business cycles in all industries. So this is what we see in the market at the moment.
And now you're head of sales in a company that provides a lot of products to corporates. How are these affecting the corporate marketplace?
Last we discussed that there are more transactions, so it means that corporates need to reconcile more transactions. And that's clearly one aspect. And the second is that when the transactions are real time and then they are 24/7, so the transactions keep coming in faster and faster. And then when we are discussing the business cycles, the corporates need to be more flexible on reconciling the incoming transactions. Because if we discuss that there are more transactions, they are more real time, and when the business cycles are coming more shorter, then the company's systems, in order to reconcile the incoming money, they need to be more adaptive and more faster, to accommodate the new business. So that's where we see that definitely we need more flexibility, and as we are saying that the era of the current account is over, and we see the corporates moving more and more into the virtual accounts.
All right, so let's talk a little bit more about virtual accounts. You've touched on this a little bit already, but how are they helping and benefiting corporates?
Firstly, I would say it's a self-service in opening the accounts. When we discussed the more cyclical changes in the industry, when the corporates need to open more accounts in order to accommodate for more businesses or new businesses, then they don't need to be in contact with the bank anymore, but they can just either key them into and open a new virtual account, or then they can upload a list of accounts and open lots of virtual accounts. And secondly, I would take the reconciliation that we also already mentioned. So by the sheer fact that the account is not real account as such, but it's a virtual account, obviously then you can have as many virtual accounts as possible, because typically corporates are saying that there is a cost included when opening an account, but when you open a virtual account, it's by its nature is virtual, so you can open as many as you want. So those are the key benefits for the corporates, and then I would say that the key benefits for the banks are obviously that the banks can provide this service to the corporates, and there's less load and stress on the bank's own system, since more accounts are moved to the virtual account structure.
All right, and finally, I want to get your take on EBADay. Walking around, what have been your key takeaways this year?
Well, I think EBADay for us is one of the key events in the year. So we have booth here, and we are meeting all our friends and customers from the industry, and this is one of the key places where we actually where the industry develops. From these discussions and panel discussions, then we have some new ideas.
Sure. Well, certainly ending up on a positive note there.
Yeah.
Petri, as always, it's been a pleasure speaking with you, and thank you for sharing your insights.
Thank you very much, Anna.